What's up everyone, it's Siobhan Hamilton again, and I'm here to talk about HMOs. A house with multiple occupancy. So what is it? So a HMO is a house where 3 or more people from separate families share a place of residence. Okay, so this can be a house that is either divided into rooms or flats. If it's flats, yes, they are self-contained flats, but the building overall, if there are 3 or more people, it still constitutes as an HMO. So for example, a high-rise tower block, a apartment block, they are classed as HMOs. Okay, so when you've got 3 to 4 people living in an HMO, you have different requirements to those HMOs which are larger, and you're having between 5 and 6 people or more than 6 people. Let me repeat that. So you can either have a small HMO where 3 people are sharing a place of residence, whether or not it's a flat or a room, or you can have a larger HMO where there are 5 to 6 people sharing a residence, irrespective of whether they're rooms or flats. You can even have a larger HMO where there are more than 6 people in the same property. Okay? Now, depending on how big your HMO is going to determine whether you need an HMO license or if you need an HMO license and planning permission. So the difference between an HMO license and planning permission is essentially the HMO license, you have asked the council for permission to use your property as an HMO. Okay, with planning permission, where you need to apply for that is usually when your house is in an area which is governed by Article 4. And what Article 4 does is it forces you to ask the council for permission to use your property as an HMO because it's oversaturated with HMOs. Okay, so if you're looking at a particular city, you need to check, depending on what your strategy is, if it is HMO, you need to check that whether the area has Article 4 or not. If it does have Article 4, it doesn't mean it's impossible to have your HMO in that area. However, planning permission tends to be more difficult to get agreed than an HMO license. Okay, so planning permission and the HMO license department, they are 2 separate departments. So just if you apply for planning permission thinking that you've covered all bases, you're not right. No, you need both. Okay, so my advice to anybody who wants to get into HMOs, especially if you want to get into the larger ones, is definitely to be proactive rather than reactive. And what I mean by that is you need to find out whether there are existing licenses and planning permissions and things like that in place, because you don't want to be in a position where you've bought the property, you have your intentions, you know what you want to do with the property, but then once you exchange contracts where you've legally committed to buying this house, and if you now, by exchanging contracts, you're basically saying, if I do not go ahead with the purchase, I forfeit the money that I have put forward for the deposit. That's basically what happens when you exchange contracts. Okay, you are contractually obliged to buy that property, otherwise you lose money. So once you've exchanged contracts, you don't then want to find out that you've got to do all this running around to get paperwork in place and find out that you can't do it. That is the last thing that you want to do. So being proactive then, if you have seen a house that you want to buy and you want to change it to an HMO, first of all, find out how is the property being used. You can ask the seller this information, but also your solicitor can find this information out as well, okay? The details, if it is running as an HMO, the details should also be online. You should be able to speak to your council about that particular property and they can give you the information as well. But essentially, for example, if you saw a property and it was being rented as an HMO, but it was being rented as an illegal HMO, so they didn't have a license in place, this is something that you would want in place before you take the property on. Okay, there is a fee involved as well, so this will also impact on your numbers. It's a minuscule fee. It's about £400 or something like that, but nevertheless £400 is £400 and it will impact on your numbers, so you need to take that into consideration when making your offer on the property. Now, you can either get the seller to do it, or you can make an agreement, get your solicitor to make an agreement that you want to apply for this before the property has been completed, because you want to be in a position to go and do what you want to do, right? Okay, so essentially the message here is, with HMOs, you want to be making plans before you commit to them, just to make sure that you can do what you intended to do with the property. And the same goes for planning. Check to see what is in place. You can phone the council, you can use the planning portal. There's various different things that you can do to check what is the status of this property. What do I need to do to make sure that I can carry out my plans? Okay, and you can do that before you're committed to buying this house, and that's ideally what you want to do. You don't want to be in a position where you've committed to buy this property and all of a sudden you can't do what you wanted to do with it. And this is also why it's good to have various exit strategies for your property. I think I'll go into that on another video, so don't want to give too much information at once. I want you to be able to digest what it is that I'm saying sort of day by day, but you want to be able to carry out your plans. I really hope that I have made myself clear. If I haven't, please reach out to us. I have got no problems with you doing that. Please like the video if you like what you heard, and if there's anything else that you think that you would like clarity on or you'd like me to go into detail about, please just hit me up in the comments and I will do that for you, not a problem. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and click the notification bell so that you know every time that I upload, and I'll be back again with another one. Take it easy, guys. Bye.